when you were in the States around that period, was Black History Month a thing there in the States?
When I was in the States, it was called the Negro Week.
Okay. So Negro History Week was a thing when you were in the States.
Yeah, in the States. And then in 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of the independence of the US.
Mm,
1976, 1776 to 1976. At that time, the president was Gerald Ford. He made a proclamation turning the Negro Week into month, Black History Month. But it was a campaign. It was a
okay.
campaign, became part of the civil rights movement and all that. And that led to the pressure from the Black Caucus and all these NAACP and the other groups that forced the White House, the president, to make that proclamation. And
So
also as part of the bicentenary celebrations. I was involved in that process as
okay.
an organizer of the All African People's Revolutionary Party. And so I was
So
familiar with Black History Month.
I guess what I wanted to know is that did you leave before it became known as Black History Month?
No, no, I left for Ghana in 1982.
Okay, so after
Yes, I left for Ghana in 1982. So I
okay,
got to Ghana in 1982 and got into troubles with the military government of Rawlins, got into troubles with them.
because of your reporting or
No, well, they had instituted what they call the defense committees. So when I went, the defense committees was something that organizing the workers and the communities to defend the revolution, what they call the revolution at that time. And
Mhm,
that was something novel in Africa. And
mm,
it excited some of us that it was mobilizing the people to action, which was similar to what we grew up in with the Young Pioneer movement and the Builders Brigade and all that during the Nkrumah period. We felt something like that was going to happen to turn the country around and to be thoroughly independent, rediscover itself, and then take control of its own destiny. So I was sent back to the Ghana to go and study and see what actually was happening. And at that time also, because of what I had known about what was happening with regards to the significance of gold and diamonds and all that in national development, I started to talk about the issue of gold and national development. We knew that Ghana had a lot of gold.
how were you talking about it?
This was in 1980s.
No,
So
but how were you talking about it? Were you talking about it in the radio, newspaper?
I was writing articles in the newspapers basically saying that Ghana's gold, the revolution swims or sink by it.
I see.
That the gold, they should consider gold as a strategic asset, national asset. They should take control of gold
Hmm?
and add value to gold. They should stop exporting gold raw. And I touch on rawness, and the government got concerned. And the
Mm,
unions, that is the mine workers union, also saw the wisdom in what I was saying. So there was agitation, and
see.
the government sent their death squad after me. And so I had to escape, and I was declared a wanted man on 4th January 1984. And all the radio, television, and all that announcement was made that I was a wanted man. And
Mhm,
intelligence and security agencies were instructed to look out for me. So there was a manhunt all over the
mm.
country for
Oh
me.
wow.
But with the help of the defense committees and the unions, they hid me from town to town, village to village, and all that. And for about 3 weeks, we're playing hide and seek with the security agencies. But finally, they managed to make arrangement and sprint me through by boat across the border into Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. And then I went to Abidjan and prepared and then came to London. I decided
Amazing.
to come
And
to London because CLR James had moved to London.
Oh, I see.
I came to London and was with the Darkus Howe and the Race Today collective in Brixton.
That's where I live right now.
I came to Britain into the movement.
Yeah. But the thing is, you came to Britain and you made a lasting impact because of the work you did with bringing Black History Month over here and making it a thing. And I think my the first guest that I ever interviewed on this podcast was Patricia.
Was who?
Patricia Lamont.
Oh, Pat. Okay, Patricia. Right.
Yes, she was the first guest I ever introduced, and she told me the story
Excellent.
of how you came with the motivation to want to do the same thing that was being done in the US over here in the UK, and how you had the idea and you wanted to push it forward and do certain things, and the fact that there were actually people against you that didn't want this thing to be a success. The constant battle you had to go through. So, if you can just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, what happened is that I was lucky and I got a job at the Greater London Council. And one day I was going to work. I got to work, and then the secretary to the principal race relations advisor to the
Hmm.
council, Answer Wong, was crying. She had her head on her desk and was crying. So I asked her, Elizabeth, what's the matter? And she said, would you believe it? Last night, I was putting Marcus to bed. And after prayers, as I left the room, Marcus called me back to his bedside and asked me, Mom, why can't I be white? She was devastated. She said she could not sleep and she cried all night. She said she had deliberately named his 6-year-old son after Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And here is his 6-year-old son questioning his identity. She said, I have failed my son. I have failed my son. I said, no, Elizabeth, you haven't failed your son. No, it is rather the institutions of state, the national curriculum, the Department of Education, the Inner London Education Authority, the local authorities, the boroughs, the museums, the libraries, the churches. They have failed your son, but not only your son, but every child growing up in this United Kingdom has been failed. So it stirs something in me that something has to be done about this. For a child to be growing up in this United Kingdom, in London, the financial center of the world, in London of Great Britain, whose wealth was generated out of our resources in Africa,
Hmm.
our intelligence and human labor, that has made Britain what it is. And for a child to be facing the trauma of identity, this could not continue. Then there's something wrong. Something has
So
to be done about it. So I set out to do something about it. And we did something about it. I put together
amazing.
programs and activities for London to celebrate Africa's contribution to world civilizations.
Hmm.
So we organized what we called the Greater London Council Historical Lectures and Concerts. So
Mm,
we brought in historians, psychiatrists, sociologists, and all from across the world into London. And they gave lectures, spoke in forums, in halls, in their communities, and
mm,
some were sent out to Bristol, Birmingham, Manchester, and other places.
amazing.
That was in 1986. The incident with Marcus and the mother was in 1985. It took a while for us to organize that and get the council, the whole Greater London Council, to support it and to get
Mm,
the ethnic minorities unit and the various women's unit and various units in the council to support it. And
mm,
we were lucky also that we had enlightened leadership at the council under Ken Livingston. And Ken Livingston was the chair of the Ethnic Minorities Committee, and the deputy chair was Paul Boatin, who was then the chairman of the Police Committee. Ken Livingston took the issue of race very, very seriously. We were very, very lucky, and we had a wonderful team in Greater London Council, very dedicated. Patricia Lamu, and a whole lot of people. They were all very supportive. We organized these lectures to sensitize London, England, and Britain, the whole of Britain, about the contributions of Africa to world civilization. And we did this through lectures and popular culture, through music. So we also organized concerts and
Oh,
brought in
nice.
artists. But in doing all this also, we understood the importance of solidarity, that you cannot struggle alone. And
Yeah.
this was demonstrated by Marcus Garvey, who had principal support for the independence of India
Hmm.
and also for the Irish struggle. He was always
Mm.
supporting them. So we also carried this forward. So when we organized the concerts, we brought artists from India and local Indian artists, Alap,
Mm.
and we also brought artists from Ireland,
Nice.
else in flight, and we grouped them all together at the Royal Albert Hall. And we packed the Royal Albert Hall with school children. School children.
Yeah, I love this. I love this.
It's an incredible period. We changed the atmosphere and we had the lecturers. You see, you had Ben Jekanan, Henry Clark, Tony Martin, Francis Cress
Mm.
Wilson. All these people, we got them
Mm.
here. We got Angela Davis here.
Yeah, Angela Davis. That's a big deal.
We've got all these people here. It's incredible.